waiting for his voice. You're about to hear the voice of Tom Michael, I hope. Because we're featuring all morning the music of Tom Michael. His new CD is Let Me Be Your Home. Tom, one of the great performers in Chicago. He'll be performing Friday at noon at the Fourth Presbyterian. There he is, Fourth Presbyterian Church Courtyard. And Saturday night, not to be missed, with Becky Menzie at the Skokie Theater. That's Saturday night, Tom Michael and Becky Menzie. Another place not to be missed is Mother Butters, 17 East 35th Street, within shouting distance, certainly, of what I will ever call Comiskey Park. This is one of the, you people know what I do in Sidewalks, and we try to find these unusual, interesting places around Chicago, places that do not get the kind of press that a place like Garrett's Popcorn would get. Mother Butters is the best popcorn confectionery store in the city of Chicago. It's run by Tim and Jennifer Donnelly. Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you, too. Let's talk about the history of this place is fascinating. You two guys, even before you got married, were kind of thinking, what should we do with our lives? Not just let's get married and argue all the time or whatever married couples do. And food was a huge part of that for you, wasn't it, Tim?
Food is definitely was a huge and still is a huge part. You were just talking about that movie about the supper clubs, and we were in the other room talking about how we just last week ate 3 pounds of prime rib at the Village Supper Club in Delavan, Wisconsin, and so we're huge fans of old family-owned businesses that seem to be going by the wayside.
Yeah, that is so true.
It is.
And that you worked at a family-owned business.
I did.
When you were a kid.
I was lucky enough to be schooled by one of the best. It was Treese Fox, and they opened up a small place at 99th and Weldon Parkway, and moved then into Beverly at 99th and Western, and created a restaurant and atmosphere, not just the food, but an atmosphere that was so welcoming. And I started washing dishes when I was 12. And pretty much did everything but put the skirt on for a waitress, and
that would not have been good.
No,
Jen, we can't see it. We can't see that happening. I don't think that would have been good.
No. So she mentored me, and as did her husband Tom.
So when you guys started talking about this, Jen, you thought about, and it wasn't. I don't think it just started simply as let's do a restaurant. Restaurants are really, really hard to do, but you guys were talking about something you could do kind of together as a mom and pop kind of thing. What did you think about before you came up with the notion of Mother Butters?
We were thinking of something that would be not. The restaurant business is very, very tough.
Yeah.
365 days, 7 days a week. I remember the pub and pizza place was open till 2 a.m. And I'm still a school teacher, and I love teaching, and I wanted to do something where we had reasonable hours and just a fun place for people to go. And I could tell you about
where you don't have drunks complaining about. Yeah, that's the other thing about restaurants is you don't have people going, hey, this popcorn sticks. It's too expensive.
Exactly.
You guys were experimenting. You guys really started experimenting in your own kitchen because of your mothers and grandmothers, and saying, well, popcorn is interesting, didn't you?
Yes. Like my mother used to make these pralines out of butter, brown sugars, salt, and it was just nothing but from scratch. Mm-hmm. And we believed if we were going to make a product, it has to be ingredients from scratch, not pre-mixes or artificial flavors. And we wanted to bring that piece of home to the people.
Well, you've really done that, and you looked all over Chicago before finding this what I think is an incredibly cool location in a new building just on the other side of the Rhine from what I will ever call Comiskey Park, even though it's not Comiskey Park anymore. How'd you find that place? And when you found it, it's in Bronzeville.
Yes.
And when you found it, you're urban pioneers there. There's no doubt about it. But you told me an amazing story about when you opened Mother Butters at 17 East 35th Street.
17 West.
17 West 35th Street. Well, if you go to East 35th, you'll find it anyway.
Yes,
but 17 West 35th Street, between State Street and the ballpark, a woman came in and was virtually crying because you had opened, right?
She was. she lived in the Stateway community before the store opened, and she lived there her entire life. And she came in and she was tears in her eyes. She said she never thought she'd see a business like this ever, and before she died. And stuff like that really, really keeps us going, because we do have some tough days being a family-owned business in this economy. We've had some doubts, and then people like that come in and just assure us that, and that makes us want to work harder.
Well, and being close to the ballpark, Jen Donnelly, it must be getting better, because the word of mouth, you can bring all of your stuff. You can bring popcorn and the candy you buy there into the ballpark, taking money out of, thank God, Jerry Reinsdorf's pocket, but getting better quality stuff. That must have, over the 2.5, how long have you been open? 2.5, 2 years?
2.5. 2
seasons then. This is a third season, or this
is our third season.
Third season. The word of mouth, I mean, you must get so many regulars who are Sox fans coming in there, right?
We do. We have a lot of season ticket holders who come in, and what's great is we also offer a free bottle of water with the products. And not a lot of people know you could bring in a bottle of water. You know, you go into the park and it costs you $4.
Yeah. What do most Sox fans, what do they get? Is there a standard? No, I'm curious. I never asked you this before. Is there a Sox fan popcorn standard that?
Well, we have a special that they love. You get a bag of peanuts, fresh roasted peanuts, almost a pound of peanuts with a bottle of water for $2.99.
Jeez.
Or you could get
you guys are going to go broke.
A caramel cheese corn.
Yeah.
With a bottle of water for $2.99. Not that they drink too much water and commit,
Yeah. There's people.
At least
like
they have it if they want it.
They get dehydrated from beer drinking. Yeah.
So that's really the popcorn and the peanuts for the game. And you know what's really kind of cool is we've had a lot of Sox players' wives that come in, and they load up for the sweets for their kids, like A.J. Brzezinski's wife, and they used to come and load up, before they go into the park. And that's kind of neat knowing that they would come to our store, instead of using the facility. Not that the facilities and
they're doing fine. But it's a wonderful kind of alternative to, and it's kind of, we'll talk specifically a little later about what all the different flavors of popcorn you have and all the candy and homemade other things you have in there. But it gives it a little, it's a little different. It's a little exotic. And I think a lot of people are like, can feel like, hey, I'm really cool because I went to the neighborhood place. Do you think that's true? It's got to be.
I what I do, like, I think our store is unique in a way because Tim loves to cook, and we're always experimenting, trying to come up with new flavors that are sweet and savory, and I think people appreciate that. We're always trying to come up with something that people will like.
And we're pushing samples on them, constantly.
You have some standard flavors there. The things that most people want, but how many flavors total are you guys up to now with popcorn?
What do you think, in the 20s?
Just him looking at
I would say about 25.
Yeah, 20? Because we have, it's funny, we just had a recent thing. We have people come up and ask us to come up with something. So if it's good...
Oh, like they'll come up and say, hey, my husband really loves bananas or something.
More like, let's say, I can't give the name because we just did it, but let's say there was a local famous brewery approached us. We've become known with the chefs now and some of the local, and they want us to incorporate their microbrew into our caramel corn.
Wow.
For an event.
Wow.
And that was fun. That was really fun.
Did you do it?
Oh, yeah, we did it.
And was it good?
They haven't
tasted it yet. They don't know. What do they know?
They're tasting it right now, and we just dropped it off early last week, and they are going to make a decision. And I thought it was delicious. It was because some beer here, the ales have same qualities as the caramel. Is this particular?
I wouldn't know that. Tim goes, I go, I don't cook. Right. I don't know how to cook. I just eat. That's fascinating. You also got approached, maybe in that first year, by. Your stuff is now carried in the Trump Hotel, right?
It is. In-room dining carries our caramel cheese corn. The Renaissance carries our white cheddar cracked pepper as a bar snack. We made a white cheddar cracked pepper specifically for drinking.
Wow.
Everything comes back to having a
Alcohol,
drink.
yeah. Everything comes back. Well, that's the nature of the show. You know who the host is. We'll take a little
and
break.
The guest.
And we'll take a little break. We come back with Tim and Jennifer Donnelly, the owners and operators of Mother Butters at 17 West 35th Street. If you were anywhere in that neighborhood, Sox game or no Sox game, you owe it to yourself to drop in and see this. This is what the city is all about to me. It's small businesses starting and helping to reinvigorate neighborhoods. And there are other businesses in that building you're in. They're starved, but they're all chains, which is not a bad thing. Which is not a bad thing. But you guys are unique. We'll be right back. You will soon hear the voice of Tom Michael. Very soon. There it is. Tom Michael's new CD is Let Me Be Your Home. He will be at the Fourth Presbyterian Church Courtyard Friday at noon, and with Becky Menzie at the Skokie Theater on Saturday night. My guests this half hour, Tim and Jennifer Donnelly, a young couple, young to me, talking about their great store. It's called Mother Butters at 17 West 35th Street. It is a store that rose out of their shared passion for food, their desire not to deal with drunks at 2 o'clock in the morning, and by opening a restaurant. It is a popcorn store, basically, but has all sorts of other candies. Fiona and I were in there, and you have all these candies you can put in bags, and you can take all of this stuff and these really nice chocolate things and
homemade fudge.
What do you call those? Yeah,
Gophers.
Chocolate things. Yeah, Rick Kogan, food expert. Those chocolate things, and you can bring all of this stuff to the ball game when you go there. I got to believe a lot of those people who have shopped there for the ball game have been. Because I stopped there to buy birthday presents for somebody once, and once you get hooked, it's like a ripple effect, don't you think?
It is. That's what we've found. Is it's great with the first time customer come in, and we give them a sample of no matter what it is, would it be our caramel corn or a version of it, or a fudge or some chocolates, and they do a dance. So they'll put the food in their mouth and they'll do, and they'll do this dance, and then I'll do a dance with them, and we just have so much fun because it's so great to see someone appreciate something you put so much work into.
The other thing I appreciate is that I know you work there too, Jen, but you're also a Chicago public school teacher, so you have another job, but you're always there. And that to me is something that distinguishes a Chicago business worthy of your attention, is that it's a Chicago business. It's not a chain. Maybe one day there will be a Mother Butters in Portland, Oregon, and you won't be working there. But now this is your life. This is your passion. You've made a stake in that community. You don't live very far away. You live pretty close by. And you made a stake there, and that is, and you're both very personable people, but you're there all the time, and you must have formed all these relationships with your customers, and that's important to them, don't you think?
I do, and it's not just like a phony relationship. I really truly like them.
Yeah, I know. I sense that.
When they come in, it's a first name basis, and I know what they went on vacation last week. They know that what I did, and they ask me how my day went. And it's fun. It's I've formed some great friendships, and it's funny because now I was getting a haircut the other day. Like you said, I don't live too far from there, so my customer base is in my neighborhood too.
Yeah,
and I hear I'm going, hey, there's the popcorn guy, and there's
that's great.
So I'm now the
I love that. There's the popcorn guy.
Yeah, Papa Butter.
Must make your parents so proud. There's the popcorn guy.
Well, that's better than what I used to be called.
They always ask for him too when he's, when he has to step out. They're like, "Is the popcorn guy here?"
Oh, boy, that you two must be, and you also. The amazing thing about you, Tim and Jennifer Donnelly, is you started this business in the midst of the worst economy in your lifetimes. That must also be very gratifying. Your projections, you obviously had a business plan. The projections may not be exactly where you want it, but you are thriving in a lousy economy. So you must be so confident. Plus, the whole Trump thing, of having your product featured at the Trump Hotel, came through word of mouth from someone who walked in, tasted it, and said, "Hey, I work for Trump." you know what I mean?
It is. It's.
It was neat. We had this customer come in, and she lives close to the neighborhood, and she was going to us for about maybe 6 months, and then she happened to mention that she worked for Trump Hotels, and she said, "Why don't you guys get together a sampler, and I'll take it in, and we'll take it to the boardroom and see how everybody likes it."
That's an amazing story. That's like something out of It's a Wonderful Life or something, or of a Frank Capra movie or something.
It is, because the layers of management and the tastings we went through were was 6 months. It was 6 months.
Wow.
And they were they voted the best hotel in the world by Travel and Leisure like last year or something. So they take everything that comes in the hotel very, very seriously. And you're at farmers markets too around. Do you do that too? That kind of. We're in Daly Plaza on Thursdays. Trump just started their farmers market on the last Thursday of the month.
A farmers market that stays open relatively late too. They're open
11 to 7.
Yeah,
and they have music there. It's on the Riverwalk. It's really, really beautiful. And Jenny worked that, and something exciting happened. Tommy Lee from Motley Crue came and grabbed the bag.
Asked Jen if she'd like to go on a vacation with him.
I didn't tell him that part, Rick.
I got very little information.
Did he buy popcorn?
Yeah, he got the maple walnut.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Isn't that fabulous?
He didn't buy it. They gave it to him.
Starting a business like this, I know you sell all sorts of candy and other kinds of things, but you are a popcorn store. Sort of starting a popcorn store in a town dominated by Garrett's. And I know you have good feelings about Garrett's. You think they make good popcorn. It's one of the things about being institutional like that. They're not going to, they are unable, if someone walks into Garrett's and says, "Hey, like I make beer and, could you make a popcorn for me?" They don't have that capability, right? I mean, you guys have a lot more, I think, creative freedom.
I think that's what separates us. We also have caterers in Chicago who ask us to make specialty popcorns for them too.
Wow.
And we have the time and we have the passion and just to do those things.
Yeah, we get that question every day. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have people come in, "Are you as good as?" And all we do is say, we're not trying to be somebody else. We make our caramel completely different. It's from scratch. We converted a caramel recipe that was not meant for popcorn. We make 3 gallons. It takes 25 minutes to make 3 gallons of our caramel corn. Now, you cannot do that's like unheard of in the popcorn world because it's unprofitable because you want to knock it out.
Yeah.
And we're still I made the mistake of after you wrote the article on us.
Yeah, Osgood and I know this place intimately. We did a sidewalks about you guys a few months ago.
Well, we had a tremendous response from that.
Good.
And what we did was I said, we have to figure out a way to make a little bit more at a time. This is crazy. And I tested it on a bigger kettle. And you know what? It wasn't the same. So we're going to stick to the 3 gallons at a time, and that means we have to make it 12 hours a day. We make it 12 hours a day.
Listen to that, ladies and gentlemen. That's the essence of good business, that you don't compromise to make more money and turn it around faster. Mother Butters is at 17 West 35th Street. Tim Donnelly is there almost all the time. His lovely wife, Jennifer, who's a public school teacher when she's not with Tommy Lee on some wild trip somewhere, or especially delivering Tommy Lee's popcorn, is there. You work there. I mean, you're there pretty frequently. You basically have 2 jobs, don't you, Jen?
Yes, I do, but I love it. I love keeping busy, and it makes me happy, and I have a passion for it, so.
And it obviously makes for a pretty good marriage too. You don't always think of people getting in business. Oh, they're laughing now. Getting in business together, but it's the Sox season is long when there are a lot of home games. You owe it to yourself when you're there for a Sox game to walk over to 17 West 35th Street and just say hello. It's virtually impossible to walk in that store and not leave with something. Is my mind. Has that ever happened?
Very, very, very few times.
I can't imagine. Why would someone walk out there? You don't have margaritas here? That would be the only reason someone would walk out, because they do not serve booze yet at Mother Butters.
when you do open a business, the best thing about the people that come in is you do get a wide range of people no matter what.
Yeah.
And the characters that we have met and the questions we've gotten have been fabulous.
I'll bet. I'm a great admirer of you guys. What you're doing is the kind of thing that's going to help in small ways resurrect this city and resurrect neighborhoods in the city that are underserved.
Well, we just hope the city helps, help bring more business like ours and make it friendly for a family to do, because you know how it's very, very hard to open a business if you don't have the bank behind you like a franchise.
Yeah.
They could wait 6 months to a year for a permit, when you're sitting on a vacant property.
Yeah.
So we're really praying that happens.
Well, I'm going to have the mayor of the city of Chicago is going to be on after the news at 8, and maybe I'll ask him about that. I mean, he's got some bigger fish to fry out there. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're anywhere in the neighborhood, 35th and State, 17 West 35th Street, right next to the ballpark, go in and ask for Tim, or, well, you will be able to tell the difference between Tim and Jennifer Donnelly. The place is called Mother Butters. You can go online to motherbutterspopcorn.com to sample it before you go. Congratulations, guys. I hope this is a really good sock season for you.
Much.
You guys are really good people, and you make really good stuff.
You're the best, Rick. Thank you.
We'll be right back.